Good morning, traders. This is Shane Scott, the moderator of Newsware's Trade Talk. At Trade Talk, we're providing you with the up-to-the-minute news on the market, along with the facts, themes, and short-term trading ideas for the day ahead. Joining me today, as always, is Bill Olson, our trading anchor, who brings over 30 years of institutional trading knowledge to our program. We're going to get things started with our markets update. U.S. futures are slipping this morning, with S&P futures down 0.37%, Dow futures down 0.12%, and NASDAQ futures down 0.76%. Treasury yields have risen today, with stocks as President Joe Biden's spending plan and furthered vaccine efforts raised optimism for a quicker economic recovery. Futures are fluctuating in light of the fallout from the implosion of Archegos Capital Management. Meanwhile, the dollar rises for a second day and gold is slipping below 17,000 per troy ounce. Oil has halted a two-day rally before the April 1st meeting of the OPEC and its allies. Tomorrow in Pittsburgh, President Biden will detail a mass expansion of government spending aimed to reducing inequality and strengthening infrastructure, as well as a revamp of the tax code. 10-year Treasury yields have risen to 1.77%. The U.S. reached a record 10 million vaccine shots in 3 days over the weekend and plans to offer inoculations to 90% of adults. Viacom CBS climbed 3.2% in pre-market trading, while Discovery and the ADR of Chinese companies linked to the Archegos block trades also posted gains. Meanwhile, Tesla has fallen after a report Xiaomi Corp plans to invest $15 billion to make electric cars. And over in Europe, the equity benchmark extended its highest level in 13 months as momentum swung in favor of cyclical stocks such as bank and automakers. Bill, what are you seeing as far as market updates?
Well, Shane, I've been watching the S&Ps all morning. They've been flat. They were down, 0.03 all morning long. And then they started to get weaker. You're seeing them off 0.34% right now. So, we could have a little so we could have some weakness at the open. But I'm still positive. The markets are waiting and they're cautiously optimistic about this infrastructure plan coming out from President Biden tomorrow. Both parties agree that a plan is needed, but there's going to be a significant divide on how to pay for it. As you mentioned, bank stocks are trending higher this morning. European shares are also in the greens. That the vaccine drive in Europe is really taking hold, and that's really causing some positive momentum in the indices over there. Let's talk oil. The Suez Canal is now reopened. Shipping is likely to take 3 to 4 days to elevate the backlog of ships that are waiting to pass through. Tomorrow is the OPEC technical meeting. Now, this is, whatever comes out in the technical meeting is really what is the announcement on Wednesday. So tomorrow's a technical meeting. This is going to be followed by the main gathering of groups, where they're going to be discussing the current quota situation. Russia is likely to be supporting of the May output curbs, that OPEC imposed, and they're going to continue with them. They're going to ask for, to be allowed to do a small production increase for themselves. So expect that. The fallout from the hedge fund blowup continues to weigh on Japanese stocks, but you're seeing the big banks like JP Morgan and Credit Suisse and Goldman Sachs move higher this morning. So they're kind of immune from this collapse. And I do want to point out tomorrow's the end of the first quarter. So typically stocks run a little higher into the end of the quarter. So we want to keep an eye on that.
Moving into earnings to watch today, Bill, why don't you tell us about how McCormick ended up doing?
McCormick did well. That's ticker MKC, Michael Kilo Charlie. They delivered a 14-cent beat on higher revenue, but more importantly, they raised their guidance outlook. So they delivered a strong beat. Stocks up this morning, so it's going to probably continue to show gains throughout the day. Later today, this afternoon, we have earnings coming out from Lululemon, ticker LU, Larry Under, which is priced for a 5.1% move. The EPS there is $2.49 is what's expected. Chewy, that's Chewy.com, ticker Charlie Henry William Yellow, CHWY. They're priced for a 9.95% move, and they're expected to lose 10 cents per share. PVH, Paul Victor Henry, it's PVH Corp. They're priced for an 8.6% move when they release this afternoon, and they're expected to lose 33 cents per share. Walgreens Booth Alliance, that's ticker WBA, William Boy Apple, they're priced for a 4.7% move. And their EPS is at $1.11, 1.11. Micron, they're releasing tomorrow afternoon. That's ticker MU. They're currently priced for a 5.1% move, and their expected EPS is 94 cents.
Do you have any insights as far as upcoming earning announcements?
I've been talking about Lululemon the last few days, and the stock's been on a tear. Lululemon, on January 11th, they raised their fourth quarter guidance after a strong holiday season. Company now expects sales and earnings per share to be at the high end of its previously stated forecast. Key is that it came out January 11th. Micron, on the other hand, ticker MU, they issued a guidance update on March 3rd, expected revenues between $6.2 billion and $6.25 billion. Meeting these updated newly guidance figures is not going to be good enough. They have to beat for the stock to really, show some real strong momentum tomorrow afternoon. The other thing I want to point out is PVH Corp. This is kind of negative here because of what the CEO said in the earnings report last quarter. He said that our main focus remains to enter the spring with a clean inventory. The CFO turned around and he said fourth quarter expenses as a percentage of revenue will be in the mid 50s. The stock's trading up. It's pretty high. I think that you're going to see weakness in PVH when they release earnings this afternoon.
Moving into economic reports, Bill, what are we seeing as far as reports today?
At 8:55, we have the Red Book on retail sales. At 9 a.m., we have the home price index. At 10 a.m., we have the consumer confidence figures. Then there's some Fed speak. At 9 a.m., the Fed Vice Chair Randall Quarles will be speaking. At 12 p.m. Eastern Time, the Atlanta Fed Bank President Raphael Bostic will be speaking. And at 2 p.m., we have New York Fed Bank President John Williams giving a speech.
Moving into our morning's critical insights, starting it off with one on Virgin Galactic, ticker SPC, has unveiled the company's first Spaceship 3 in its fleet, which is called VSS Imagine. The company believes Imagine demonstrates progress toward efficient design and production as they work to scale the business for the long term. VSS Imagine will commence ground testing with glide flights planned for this summer. Virgin Galactic share price is down 2.84% in pre-market. In other news, the United Steelworkers said that the union engaged in a strike against Allegheny Technologies, ticker ATI, over unfair labor practices at 7 a.m. at 9 facilities. ATI closed 7.15% lower in Monday's market. One on Yum Brands, ticker YUM. Yum has launched the Hut Lane, which is a digital order pickup window available at over 1,500 locations. In other news, Japanese electronics maker Panasonic Corp and cybersecurity company McAfee, ticker MCFE, announced Monday that they will jointly start developing a vehicle security operations center to commercialize vehicle security monitoring services. This is being developed to safeguard connected vehicles against the worldwide problem of cyber attacks. In other news, BioNTech, ticker BNTX, and Pfizer, ticker PFE, have received signed orders for 1.4 billion doses of their COVID-19 vaccine to date for delivery in 2021, and the companies are expected to expand manufacturing capacity to up to 2.5 billion doses by the end of 2021. One on Albertsons, ticker ACI, the food and drug dealer, as well as Google, ticker GOOGL, announced a multi-year partnership for innovations such as shoppable maps with dynamic hyperlocal features, AI-powered conversational commerce, and predictive grocery list building. Albertsons' share price is up 0.76% in pre-market. In other news, Bitcoin has jumped 2% in pre-market after a report that online payments giant PayPal, ticker PYPL, will announce today the launch of its crypto checkout service. PayPal share price is up 0.7% in pre-market. News on DraftKings, ticker DKNG. DraftKings has acquired the multi-platform broadcast and content company Vegas Sports Information Network. DraftKings share price is up 0.88% in pre-market. Lastly, for me, one on Merck, ticker MRK. The company is set to acquire Lydia Health for up to $240 million. Merck's share price is up 0.22% in pre-market. Bill, what are you seeing as far as this morning's news?
Shane, I break my news down into specific sectors and specific events. Just gives me the opportunity to pounce on opportunities when they come across the tape. I have my FANG alerts. It's up all the time. On Google this morning, I see that T-Mobile, which is TMUS, they announced that they are expanding their partnership with Google. Google's going to be the default messaging app for Android phones. They're going to be promoting Pixel and Android devices. They're going to be using Google One as the preferred phone backup and storage app, replacing T-Vision with YouTube, and T-Mobile Premium with video service. So, there's a lot going on with Google, and that's in addition to the outlets and stories that you just mentioned. I look at Facebook. Facebook confirmed that it's exploring the development of an Instagram-like app for children under 13. This is going to enable them to be able to keep up with families and friends in a safe environment. And let's talk about, Amazon, that Alabama fulfillment center that's planning on holding a union vote, which the union vote was held. They're starting to review and count those ballots today. My Dow Jones 30 alert hit on Merck. They received a positive news announcement from the European FDA. And as you mentioned, they're acquiring that healthcare firm for $240 million. There was some negative news on Merck because the FDA did issue a CRL, which is a letter saying that they need more information with respect to Kutera and their high-risk treatment of triple-negative breast cancer. IBM, they announced a 10-year partnership to accelerate discovery with the Cleveland Clinic. Visa, they're announcing the expansion of Visa Direct. This is a real-time push payments platform. The new solution is going to allow Visa clients and partners around the world to use a single point of connection to push payments to eligible cards for domestic payouts. My option headlines, Zoom, ticker ZM, the 30-day option implied volatility is at 55. Compare that to the 52-week range of 51 to 107. You see this happen as the shares are pulling back. Let's talk about the airlines for a second as well, because United Airlines 30-day option implied volatility is 56, compared to its 52-week range of 51 to 170. Delta, on the other hand, their 30-day option implied volatility is at 47. Their 52-week range is 43 to 150. So you got to keep an eye on these shares of airlines. They seem to be a little underpriced according to the options market. FDA, we have Oppenheimer, Amgen, Apple, Michael, Grace, Nancy. Oppenheimer is going to be holding a meeting with Amgen's management today. Ticker WAVE, WAVE, William Apple, Victor Edward. Wave Life Sciences stopped development of its Huntington disease treatments. And ticker AKBA, Apple Kilo Boy Alpha. They submitted a new drug application to the FDA this morning. But that's what I'm seeing so far in the pre-market, Shane.
Let's go ahead and move into our Trade Talk picks for today. I'm picking one I spoke about not too long ago, DraftKings, ticker DKNG. Its media acquisition is positive news, and the stock has room to run up about $64.71 today, and it's quite a bit below that, still around the 58 mark. So I think we can expect to see some pretty safe gains moving into today. So that's my pick. What's yours looking like, Bill?
Well, I'm going to go with Microsoft, ticker MSFT, Michael, Sam, Frank, Tom. Oppenheimer came out with a positive note this morning, and the news of a tie-up with Discord is a real positive play for the company. Shares have been under pressure lately. They're down right now in the pre-market by about $2. So I expect that to turn around, and I expect you to see shares of Microsoft trend higher later this morning, early afternoon.
Let's go ahead and move into what's hot off the press. So this is the news that's hitting the tape as we speak that will be moving the stocks today. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So, Bill, looking at our newswire alerts, seeing the headlines streaming in, which are the ones we should be letting traders know about?
Simon Property Group, that's SPG, Sam Paul Grace. They just declared first quarter 2021 dividend of $1.30 per share.
One on Bragg Gaming, ticker BRGGF. Bragg Gaming Group has signed a revenue sharing deal with Grand Casino Baden.
Ticker HSIC, Harry, Sam, India, Charlie. They just made a majority investment in Stratus Healthcare. These guys are a growing ambulatory surgery market. Could be very interesting today. Ticker CLI, Charlie Larry India. Matt Cali Realty sells its Metro Park portfolio.
One on AbbVie, ticker ABBV. They said that the FDA has accepted its NDA for a preventative treatment of migraines.
Here's one from the CME Group, Charlie Michael Edward. They've announced a new micro Bitcoin future set to launch May 3rd.
Walgreens, ticker WBA, has announced an agreement with Incom Payments to provide financial service options for customers.
Biden's going to nominate 11 judicial candidates in his first attempt to put an imprint on the federal judiciary system.
ExxonMobil, ticker XOM, them along with Porsche are testing advanced biofuels and renewable low carbon e-fuels.
European leaders and others call for a global pandemic treaty.
Anything else interesting for you, Bill?
The last one I really have is Microsoft and LinkedIn to further aid job seekers as employment moves to a skill-based economy. There's a lot of news stories out on Microsoft on this event today, but that's all I'm seeing.
So that'll do it for what's hot off the press. Traders, keep in mind you could receive these same breaking stories we do simply by subscribing at newsware.com. Check us out for a free trial. It will definitely up your trading game. Moving into our scoreboard, talking about how our picks did from Monday. I had Caterpillar, ticker CAT, which opened at $228.10 and went as high as $231.43 toward the close for a 1.45% gain for the day. How'd yours end up doing, Bill?
Well, I did Salesforce.com, which is ticker CRM, Charlie Richard Mary. The stock opened up much higher than I expected at 209 because in the pre-market it was 207, 208. But it fell back and then it rallied into the afternoon, as I mentioned. And I expected to rally in the afternoon, and it did. It actually went as high as 211.62. It closed out at 210.77, and that's a $1.76 gain from the opening print. So it was a good mover yesterday. Salesforce was good.
Nice. Consistent wins for Newsware. Well, that's going to do it for us here at Trade Talk with Traders. You know what to do. Let's get out there. Let's make some green.